Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation on Serenity. My name's Will and today we'll be going through what is Serenity, what causes Serenity, and how can Serenity be fostered. So let's get into it. Serenity originated as a religious concept, sort of likened to feelings of inner peace, but colloquial meanings more liken it to tranquility or peacefulness. What's really interesting is the psychological emergence of serenity and how faith or religiosity can influence our psychological well-being. So how does it work? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Research suggests that serenity or high levels of serenity might act as a buffer to the emotion that we experience. So to the James Lung theory of emotion, that would mean that the stimulus actually is buffered by our high levels of serenity before we produce a physical reaction, and therefore influencing the emotion that we experience. Now, this is really interesting because it's something that we think of as an emotion, but actually acts as more of a mediator of the emotion. So how do we measure something like serenity? Well, two leading scales exist. The dispositional serenity scale, which measures faith as faith in the world and yourself, humility as accepting what you can and can't change, gladness as feelings of love and connectedness with the world, and the brief serenity scale measures acceptance as accepting yourself and the world, inner haven as feelings of inner peace, and trust as having faith in the world. So how do we cultivate it? As you can see, I've combined the similarities between the two scales here just for ease of explanation. And all of these can be increased by mindfulness and meditation. Humility and acceptance and gladness and inner haven can be increased through cognitive behavioral therapy. And gladness and inner haven could also be increased by gratitude practices and community and pro-social behavior. Interestingly, there exists a serenity prayer which could influence the experience of these factors. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation on what is really just scratching the surface on a really interesting emerging topic in the field of positive psychology. For more reading, please check out my Wikiversity chapter on Serenity.